Welcome back to Daxon Recaps channel. Thanks for tuning in to watch my videos, it's greatly motivating. So let's get right into it. If you say this is the rise and fall of a crime syndicate, a tale of power, betrayal, and revenge, you'll not be wrong.
Baby!
David and his wife, Alexis, share a seemingly normal morning, but an unsettling dream leaves her worried about their children. Brushing it off, David prepares for the day, knowing that later they will celebrate his niece's 15th birthday, a deeply significant milestone in their culture. He leaves for work at an electronics store, where he manages the business alongside his reckless cousin, Lupe. Unlike David, who values order, Lupe treats the store as her personal party spot. His closest ally, Creeper, soon arrives, and the two embark on their real job, collecting payments from local gangs on behalf of their imprisoned boss, Wizard. Their first stop brings them face to face with Victor, a newly promoted gang leader struggling to maintain control of his crew. He seeks David's protection, fearing the rise of rival factions. David reminds him of the established rules: every gang must pay 30% of their earnings. Any defiance results in swift, brutal consequences. While handling business, David often contrasts his world with Creeper's, teasing his friend for remaining single while he enjoys a happy home life. Their next few stops involve securing payments, settling disputes, and ensuring peace between gangs. However, tension arises when one gang disrespects Creeper, nearly escalating into violence before David steps in to defuse the situation. David's responsibilities extend beyond the underworld, as seen when Alexis calls him to a store where she demands his influence to secure a coveted dress for their niece. However, the night takes a serious turn when David and Alexis count their earnings and discover Victor's payment is short by $20,000. Infuriated, David storms into Victor's house, ready to punish him, only to learn that the missing money was used to pay for Victor's daughter's leukemia treatment. Moved by the desperate father's plea, David makes a rare exception, allowing him to keep the cash. Shortly after, David is ordered to collect a massive sum from a gangster named Venom. He and Creeper arrive at Venom's base, but the situation quickly turns tense. A new player, Conejo, enters the scene and makes a bold declaration: he is now in charge, and no one will pay taxes to Wizard's crew anymore. Outnumbered, David and Creeper leave without provoking a fight. Creeper is eager for war, but David urges caution, recognizing that Conejo is not an ordinary gangster. He is a ruthless leader from the east, feared by many. Seeking guidance, David informs his uncle, Louis, of Conejo's power move. Louis hesitates, torn between attacking or negotiating. His reluctance makes David suspect he fears Conejo. That night, during the extravagant quinceañera for Alexis' niece, Louis delivers surprising news: Conejo has offered to meet peacefully. David is relieved, hoping to avoid war, but the illusion of peace is short-lived. Later that night, Conejo's enforcer, Gato, arrives with a sinister message, summoning David and Creeper to a nightclub. There, Conejo reveals his true intentions: he has murdered Louis and presents his severed head as proof. Despite his rage, David keeps his composure. Conejo offers them a chance to switch sides, promising greater power and wealth. But his demand is humiliating: David must kiss his rings in submission. Without hesitation, David rejects the offer, walking away with Creeper. Conejo, seeing this as an act of defiance, retaliates the next day with a brutal ambush. His men attack first, slaughtering David's crew. Amid the chaos, Creeper is captured, while David narrowly escapes. Realizing his family is in danger, he rushes to retrieve Alexis and their children. On the way, he receives a horrifying video call: Conejo's men are torturing Creeper, breaking his legs before executing him. Powerless to intervene, David focuses on protecting his family, moving them into hiding. Alexis pleads with him to leave everything behind and escape, but David insists on handling unfinished business. He secures their children with his sister and retrieves a secret stash of $2 million from Lupe's house, a hidden fortune from a past he hoped to leave behind. However, when he returns to the hotel, he finds Alexis murdered. Devastated, his grief turns into fury. Then, a final blow: Conejo has kidnapped his children, demanding a ransom within 2 hours. Blood-soaked path to vengeance. With his wife murdered and his children kidnapped, David is consumed by grief and rage. He no longer cares about power, money, or even his own survival. His only mission is revenge. But taking down Conejo isn't something he can do alone. He needs an army, and he knows exactly where to find one. David heads straight to Bone, the leader of the Bloods, the only man with enough firepower and men to match Conejo's brutal syndicate. In a tense meeting, David lays everything on the table: how Conejo slaughtered his crew, murdered his wife, and took his children. Bone listens carefully, recognizing that Conejo isn't just David's problem, he's a threat to everyone. If Conejo takes full control, no gang will be safe. With their interests aligned, Bone agrees to help, rallying his soldiers for war. Their first target is one of Conejo's heavily guarded drug houses. Under the cover of night, David and Bone lead their men in a coordinated ambush. Gunfire erupts as they breach the hideout, taking Conejo's enforcers by surprise. Bullets tear through bodies, blood splattering the walls. David moves with deadly precision, eliminating enemies one by one, his fury guiding every shot. The battle is ruthless, and in the chaos, they capture one of Conejo's men alive. David doesn't waste time with pleasantries. He drags the wounded gangster to the street, ties him to the back of a car, and forces him to talk. As the vehicle accelerates, the man's face scrapes against the pavement, leaving a gruesome trail of blood. Screaming in agony, he finally gives up Conejo's location before David puts a bullet in his head, leaving him lifeless on the street. With the intel secured, David and Bone race to the hideout where his children are being held. They breach the compound with calculated aggression, cutting down Conejo's remaining guards with brutal efficiency. Inside, they find the kids, terrified but unharmed. An elderly woman, Conejo's grandmother, stands in the room, defeated. She offers no resistance, only giving up her grandson's final location. Now, there's only one thing left to do: end Conejo once and for all. David and Bone move swiftly, infiltrating Conejo's last stronghold. The guards never see them coming. With silent, calculated takedowns, David clears the way before coming face to face with Gato. She lunges at him, but he's faster. A brutal hand-to-hand fight ensues, each blow fueled by raw fury. In the end, David overpowers her, finishing her off with a vicious execution. Finally, David reaches Conejo. The two men stand in the dimly lit room, staring each other down. Conejo smirks, confident in his strength. The fight that follows is nothing short of brutal. Blows are exchanged, bones crack, and blood spills across the floor. At first, Conejo dominates, beating David down with savage force. But David refuses to lose. In a final, desperate surge of strength, he turns the tables, grabbing a nearby blade and driving it deep into Conejo's chest. He doesn't stop until the life drains from his enemy's eyes. As the dust settles, David stands over Conejo's lifeless body, breathing heavily, covered in blood, his vengeance finally complete. But this isn't victory. It's survival. And now, with the underworld watching, he must decide whether to embrace the power he has inherited, or walk away forever. The aftermath for David is like a king without a kingdom. With the battle won, Bone helps David escape. As they regroup, Bone offers medical aid, but David has something else in mind. He contacts Wizard, his father, and delivers the news. Instead of mourning the loss, Wizard sees this as an opportunity, declaring that David has now taken his place as the ultimate ruler of the criminal underworld. But David has no interest in power anymore. Everything he loved has been taken from him. The cycle of violence has only led to suffering. As the dust settles, David is left standing alone, free, yet burdened by the cost of his revenge. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and put down your comments below to let me know what you think about this recap story. Give this video a thumbs up and share for others too to enjoy. And see you on my next recap. Bye for now.